Hey everyone, it's David here. What is a trustee's deed upon sale? That's a great question. Let's cover that in today's video. But before I do that, if you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Click subscribe and click the notification link. I give out freebies all the time. I'm giving out a couple this month. I'd love for you to be one of my lucky winners. Okay, so I'm going to show you a trustee's deed upon sale, and I'm going to show you an older one that I have. Here it is right here. So this got recorded in Riverside County, and it's an old one that I worked several years ago. What I like about the trustee's deed upon sale is it gives me the title. And I, in the beginning, I said, what is a trustee's deed upon sale? This is when a property has gone up for foreclosure and it is sold to a third party. Now, a lot of people think that a trustee's deed and an REO is the same thing, and they're not. An REO is like, let's say you have Bank of America that takes this property and they take it for auction at $300,000, or let's go with the unpaid debt. The unpaid debt is $163,634.13. Let's say that Bank of America starts off bidding at that price, and they can't put more than the unclaimed debt. If they have anticipated costs, they can put that in there, but anything over, they're not entitled to. So they start off the bidding at $163,634.13. The property sells for $163,634.13. That will be recorded as a trustee's deed upon sale. The surplus in that case would be zero. Okay, so that would there would be no surplus if they're owed 100. Now I'm going to just say 163,000 at this point. If they're owed 163,000, they get that at auction. Their loan is satisfied. It's a trustee's deed upon sale. It is considered a foreclosure. Now, let's take this to the next step and say that they take it up for auction at $163,634.13, and nobody bids, and Bank of America takes this property back. This property now belongs to Bank of America, and they're the rightful heirs of this property. Now, if they were the first position of this property, and a lot of people don't know this, if they're first position, any liens underneath them get wiped out. Typically, any county or government liens that relate to the property usually take priority over it, like if it's a tax lien, something like that. And that's why a lot of times you see the banks that'll pay the tax lien. So what I'm saying here is, let's say that the county of Riverside has a tax lien for $5,000 on this property, and Bank of America has a lien on it for $163,000. Oftentimes, Bank of America will pay that tax lien and make it $168,000 at auction, because they don't want the taxes to be able to foreclose, because they're going to be in first position. Let's say Wells Fargo has a second for $50,000. Bank of America takes us up for foreclosure. That $50,000 is gone. Okay. Now, Wells Fargo, a lot of people think seconds cannot foreclose. Wells Fargo can foreclose on this property, and anything that they take at the auction, I'm giving you a lot of information here. I'm kind of going on, but let's say the second goes up and they take this up for auction. They still have a first that they have to satisfy. So if someone bids on it, they can bid on that property knowing that there's a first. And many times the second will discount the mortgage. Like I've seen it happen again and again. So the second will come up and they'll say the loan's for 50. They'll put bidding at 10,000, and let's say this property is worth like 200,000, 250, 270, and there's a second on it for 50, and it's going up for auction for 10 grand. I would probably be willing to bid on that second, as long as there's enough equity for me to be able to come in and handle the property and handle the first on this. So that's something that I would entertain. I haven't done that, but I know many people that have. So let's go back to my original statement here, though, about this, because I'm giving you a lot of information on this, and that's something about my YouTube channel that I really like to do. Yes, I'm a warrior. Yes, I love surplus funds. Yes, I've got the community, but I always want people to be able to take golden nuggets out of my videos. So, a trustee's deed upon sale. This is the people that bought it, which you can also see them down here. This is the address and everything. You got the APM, but you got the address right here. I kind of blotted that out, the case number. Trustee's deed upon sale. Like I said, the amount of unpaid debt altogether was $163,634.13. The property sold at the sale was for $229,000 even. and then there's transfer tax on the property. Let's go ahead and talk about this and if there's indeed surplus. Well, and I'll show you this on another video. I didn't want to make this property too vulnerable. They would run what's called a transactional history report on this property, and it would show all the liens on the property and what's out there. What's weird, and again, I'm giving you a lot of information, I'm trying to keep this simple, is I've seen times where there's a second. Now, any liens that are on the property outside the Homestead Act, and I'll get to the Homestead Act on another video, but any liens on the property that relate to the property, HOA, second, they're entitled to that surplus. And what would that be? So let's just use round numbers. So it'd be 230. So it'd be like 60 something thousand in surplus, like 64,000 if I'm doing my math correctly. I wasn't planning on going there. I did that in my head. So say there's 64,000 in surplus. Wells Fargo has a second. I would still probably go after the surplus because there'd be a $14,000 difference roughly after that second has been satisfied and paid if the first does the foreclosure. Now, if there's no liens on the property, it's even better because that 64,000 should go back to the homeowner. And again, when I talk to homeowners on the phone, I always verify: did you have a second on the property? Was there any HOA liens? Was there any lawsuits against the property? Anything that should be recorded that I should know about? And this is going to help you because I'm out to get you the highest possible money. So those are conversations I have when I'm talking to a homeowner. In that case, this is what gets recorded. I look at this and I look at a what's called a transactional history report. It basically gives me all the transactions on the property, what got recorded, what's filed against the property, and who gets entitled to what. So an REO would be, and I just want to make sure you understand this, Bank of America goes up to the property and they take it up for foreclosure and nobody bids on it. It goes back to Bank of America. Bank of America now owns that property. It is now what's called an REO. It's real estate owned and it's owned by the bank. Okay, so it's an REO property. Now, let's say that Bank of America takes the property back. Bank of America now owns the property. Bank of America now goes on title for this property. And let's say they put it up on the market through an agent and they sell it for $300,000, almost double what the loan was. That $140,000, $150,000 difference would go to Bank of America. And I always hear, yeah, because I've had people call me with this before. Actually, I've had homeowners get in contact with me before about a property that has gone up for foreclosure. It's gone back to the bank and the bank sells it for more than the unpaid debt on the property. Well, the owner has fair rights to the property. In this case, the owner of the property is Bank of America. They get whatever comes in. If Bank of America gets $120,000 from the property and that's all they could get, they take that $43,000 loss of the property as well. So whatever they get, they are the rightful owner. So an REO is not a business that you can go and get money for. You could buy REOs, you can flip them, and I know people who do that all day long. I've gone after, in fact, I've bought REOs, I've bought short sales, I've done that. But in regards to surplus funds, this is something that you'd really be looking for. You'd be looking for a trustee's deed upon sale. You'd be looking for a property that has gone to a third party at auction, and you're looking for a property that has sold for above the asking price at auction. So those are what you're looking for on a foreclosure sale. Hey, hope this video helps. Just wanted to go over what a trustee's deed upon sale is. And the last thing I'm going to say is, a trustee's deed upon sale, that's what gets filed in most, if not all, most counties or across the United States that I know of. Almost every single one uses a trustee's deed upon sale. So when you look at this and you see this, you know that an auction took place, you know that a third party bought it at the auction, and you know that you could do some investigating, including interviewing the homeowner on that. But this will be filed on the property. It will be in the transactional history report. And it is now. And one other quick thing I'll say, I do know that in many places, including California, these don't get filed right away and they don't get title insurance. So that is just something to think about. And be very careful if you ever want to go to an auction and bid on one. I know of one situation personally, and I know this from a banker. They took a property to auction and people were bidding like crazy. And it's a really inner community. And the guy told one of the people, all these guys think that they're bidding on a first. When he said that, everyone got really quiet, realizing that they were bidding on the second, and they did not know that. immediately people started backing up, and the guy who had bid on the property was something like 70,000, had the cashier's checks that he had already had to have forward, and he tried to cancel them and he wasn't able to. So he actually got this property, and this is back in like I want to say like not 10 years ago. Well, yeah, right around 10. This is when we had the collapse of the economy and the Great Recession. And this is when you couldn't quite get the properties moving. And he tried to cancel the cashier's check. He tried to do a number of different things and just wasn't able to do that. So that's kind of what happened right there. And it ended up being where he got stuck with the property. So know what you're bidding on, find out if it's a first. But in this business, what we go after is we go after this. We go after, if you're working, and in Warriors, we work 4 different types of funds we teach. This is called the mortgage overages that we do, sometimes tax overages, depending. This one's a mortgage overage, that's why I'm saying that. And you've also got the bankruptcies, and you've also got the state funds, and we look at the script and everything with it. I mean, it's an incredible community, but I just wanted to show you some documentation of real live documentation. This is a document, this is public record. This is recorded in the county of Riverside. This is one that I pulled up for an example. Hey, do me a favor, if you like this channel, go ahead and subscribe, click the notification link. I'd love for you to be one of my lucky winners. Thank you for everyone. By the way, a huge shout out to all of you. I appreciate the feedback. I just hit 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate that. And let's hit 1,000 more, and let's hit 1,000 more. I love the feedback and comments you all give me. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much.